So many of us, I think over the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, we've heard that Ripple has applied for a Fed master account and a bank charter with the OCC. What we don't hear about, because we just assume, oh, it's just Ripple. Well, it's a part of Ripple, and the people that were put together to push that effort forward and get it done is what's stunning. It's like we're all looking over here, but I don't think anybody's taking a deep dive to see who the major players are behind this for Ripple. And so let's take a quick look. I think you're going to be surprised. This one from Professor Ripple Effect says that everyone focused on the front page of Ripple's bank charter. Did anyone scroll down? I didn't. I had to admit I didn't. I assume the same thing I think everybody else did. He goes on to say the document includes individuals with long careers across institutions such as the Federal Reserve Bank of England, Bank for International Settlements, that's the BIS I keep talking about, and BNY Mellon. These roles are not incidental, but reflect a pattern of experience that is now positioned within Ripple's advisory structures. And it goes on to acknowledge the one thing we all know. Ripple also holds over 1,700 NDAs, which those are non-disclosure agreements, which remain outside public scrutiny. Basically, nobody knows with who. It's got to be the major players, guys. These agreements are likely to involve partnerships, integrations, and regulatory discussions that have not yet been disclosed. Wouldn't that be how they would operate if they were going to change the financial system? They would do it very secretively. And so that's kind of how this thing is working out here. Goes on to say after that, this post highlights details often overlooked. A second post tomorrow will continue this analysis by drawing attention to further connections that are central when considering Ripple's wider positioning. I haven't seen anyone else mention what I have to share for tomorrow's content. So I guess it's going to be a good idea to follow this guy. But let's take a look at what he's specifically pointing to. So these are some of the things that, I just didn't even think to look. I just figured it was the same group of people. No, they assembled people who have specialties. The first one up here in highlight here is Timothy Francis Keeney. Tim Keeney is a seasoned executive with more than 25 years of experience in the global financial services sector. Mr. Keeney has a career spanning more than 20 years at BNY Mellon. You can see that right there, the second highlight line. Serving most recently as its vice chairman from 2012 to present. He held several other leadership roles at BNY Mellon, and it goes on to talk about him. The next person that you see, I guess, up here in the middle is David, David Puth? Punt? I don't know, I can't pronounce that. His career, he's got more than 3 decades of leadership of financial markets, payments, and technology. He's currently the vice chairman of North America for Partners Capital. And so you can go through there. There's somebody at the CLS Group where he was chief executive officer over 6 years. He goes on to say, I guess he had a position with the Federal Reserve also, the Bank of England, the Bank for International Settlements. Mr. Puth is a member of Ripple's advisory board. So, and I'm sure if you dig a little deeper, you'll find more of these kinds of individuals. But these are heavy hitters. They're not lightweights. They are there to get the job done. You saw the video prior to this that's talking about it's happening at Ripple. They're not going ho-hum about this, okay? They're the only ones with legal regulatory clarity. You're about to see a video later talking about that specifically. And it's admission from a very credible source that, and I don't need that. I have the judge's ruling. I read it because we saw that when Ripple won the lawsuit. So XRP is the only digital asset with a legal opinion that it is not a security. That's legal regulatory clarity is what that is. Nobody else has that. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, not Solana, none of those. That's why they want that Clarity Act, because it'll give most of the crypto space the clarity it needs to define it. And not all of them will not be a security. I'm sure some of them will, but XRP will not. It's the only one, and it's building all these tools so banks, when they jump in, they're going to have a blockchain from which to work. They can't do that with anybody else because there's no legal regulatory clarity. Do you think that when that comes in, that's when the banks will decide to, okay, now we can get ready? No, they want to be ready before the light turns green. If you're in a race, Formula One or whatever have you, you don't start building your car after the light turns green. That car better be ready to go when that light goes green, and that's what banks are doing right now. And Ripple is way ahead of the curve. Now, you guys have heard this little nonsense that Swift is pulling with Linea and Consensus, and well, they've done this before, but they're late to the party, and it was more propaganda for their Sibos conference that they never invite Ripple to, by the way. But you'll see another video from Consensus. That's an Ethereum Foundation group, Joseph Lubin, admitting that it doesn't include settlement. That partnership, that so-called propaganda thing, FUD, if you will, is just messaging still. It's not settlement, which Ripple and XRP offer messaging and settlement in 3 to 5 seconds. There's no competition, guys. It's not even close. Ripple is in it to win it. They won't be the only winner, but when it comes to payments, custody, and moving value, man, good luck. I don't think anybody's going to beat them, and it's that way by design, the way it looks to me. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark. We'll see you guys on the next one. Till next time, adios, amigos.